Okay, we are live, I think live in 1, 2. Live. Hello, how are you? How is everybody? This is Dr. Elsa Sofia Morote, Dean of the Graduate Studies, and we are here with 2 of our alumni and 1 of the professor of our program, Digital Forensics and Cybersecurity. So we are so happy because we will talk about what this program does and where they can take you. And that's the reason we have our 2 of our alumni. So let me introduce you each of them. We have today John McFarland. He is Cyber Threat Intelligence Analyst for New York City Cyber Command. John did Masters in Digital Forensics and Cybersecurity and Master's certification in Terrorism Studies. So he have 2 degrees. Before this time, John did undergrad in Brooklyn College and in computer science. We also have our professor, Adam Scott Wandt. He teaches in the Masters in Digital Forensics and Cybersecurity program, and he also regularly teaches information security, data communications, interceptions, forensics, and security, and also course examining the role of technology plays in inspection and oversight community, because he also belongs to the Department of Public Management. And he also has participated and taught in the United States Military Academy at West Point. So hello, Professor Adam Scott Wandt. And we have Ciara Vitolo. Ciara Vitolo is an alumni. She's currently a technology consultant at Protiviti, a global consulting firm in New York City, where she works in financial services clients on technology governance and risk management. So we have a completely different background. So we're very interested in all of you. So let's begin with Ciara, the females first. Yeah. So Ciara, tell us about how you went from finance and took this master's, and what are you doing exactly? What is the combination of finance and cybersecurity? What are you doing? Tell us about you.
Sure. So I started in financial services, and that's when I decided to go to John Jay, and I worked full-time while pursuing my master's part-time. I graduated undergrad with a bachelor's of science in information science and wasn't entirely sure where I wanted to go with that. So I think I used my colleagues at my previous job and just started picking people's brains based on my interests, and was very interested actually in digital forensics, which was one of the reasons why I decided to pursue a master's at John Jay. I really liked the digital forensics portion of it, and the hands-on classes and experience that we got to learn about. And then once I completed my degree, I still had my financial services background, so I decided to go into consulting. So kind of tying everything together, just because I have financial services background, I consult with financial services clients on risk management related projects, specifically around data loss prevention. So yeah, that's kind of the intersection of all of my different experiences.
Well, it's very interesting intersection. So what the masters gave you to you, the ability of critical thinking, to do consulting, what exactly gave you to move you to being to be a consultant?
Yeah, sure. So I think the main takeaway that I had while pursuing my master's was just work, like balancing work with schoolwork and time management skills. So just because I went to school part-time and worked full-time, I really had to make sure that I was able to manage my time so I could get everything done at work in a day and everything done for school. I went to school on Saturdays and at night after class, and after work sometimes. So it was really important to just make sure I had really great time management skills, which is one thing that I felt like I really got out of the master's program while working full time.
Wow, that's very good. So now we also have John McFarland. John, tell us about your experience and what are you doing right now, which is completely different than what Ciara is doing. So that's very exciting to me to see completely different activities.
Yeah, we went in very different directions. So I work for the government. I'm a cyber intelligence analyst for New York City Cyber Command. I mainly do technical analysis work on different potential events or nation state actors, basically trying to make sure that New York City is always ahead of the curve. So what that entails is I deal a lot with atomic indicators, behavioral indicators, and computed indicators. So I will go in, like, in the event that there is a data breach or there is some kind of cyber activity, I'll go in, I'll look at the digital forensics that get pulled out by our CERT team, and I'll see if those are associated with any campaigns or nation state actors or fin groups who might use them.
So there's like a statistical analysis of you do like analysis of comments. How do you do that?
So like a link analysis. So if we see infrastructure, like an IP address or a domain that has been used by Russia in attacks against SLTT entities or like local and state governments, if we see that, we'll know that we can look to that old event for potential other indicators to look for. And so we'll then pivot along those indicators and see if we see those in our environment.
Wow, I think that's very interesting. It looks like the movies, the spy movies that we see in the TV and in Netflix or something.
It is painfully boring, but it's fun.
Yeah, it looks like fun. It looks like fun. So, Professor Adam, we would like to know what this master implies. What courses we have. What are we teaching in this program to get so diversity in jobs?
So I think the thing that's important to remember is that it's a Master's of Science in Digital Forensics and Cybersecurity. And we've created this program to offer a balance of practice and theory through study of computer science, law, criminal justice, and practical programs to go out there and do hands-on work. The degree itself, there are a certain number of required classes. I think there are 5 of them. You study everything from network security to digital forensic applications to the law of high technology crime. Then there are some electives that the students get to take. There are both forensic security electives and criminal justice electives. So you could specialize in applied cryptography or network forensics or cyber risk assessment and management. There are other courses as well. However, I think the students kind of get to pick their own track. They also have to take one criminal justice elective, which helps them really understand how this all fits into context. The security of information and technology, which is a course that I teach. Crime scene investigation, investigating cybercrime. One of our more popular courses, which is really important, writing for management. If you're going to get out there and be doing cyber forensics and digital forensics, you need to learn how to write up your reports. And we also have courses on criminology, law, and ethics. But I think what really brings our program together is that we have a flexible capstone options, and we allow students to choose from 3 different options. 2 of the 3 I actually work on and teach with students. One of the option is a capstone seminar with field work. Another option is a forensic computing research practicum. And then the third option, which I'm actually teaching this semester with a group of incredibly intelligent students, is faculty-membered research in digital forensics and cybersecurity, where this semester, for example, my students are out there doing detailed analysis of social engineering and how social engineering has been used in the past to thwart corporate and government security in order to make recommendations on how to improve corporate and government security from social engineering.
That's really, they give you like a menu of options. You can do whatever you want to do, really. So Ciara, do you remember what all these options you took? Which ones were like more compelling to your ideas or where you want to go?
Yeah, going back, a couple years, but I do remember I took one class with Professor Wandt, and I think that, do you remember the name of it, Professor Wandt?
I think we called it software design for law enforcement.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's basically what it was called. It was a specialty class.
Yeah, so I think in that class we did a lot of research on our own, and I think that taught us like a lot of life skills when you're in the job field. It's not as structured. You have to solve problems on your own and figure out answers to different issues. So I think that was definitely a great opportunity that's helped me in the last year and a half since I graduated. So yeah, there's definitely real life skills that you learn coming out of this master's program.
That's good. So the life skills is very important as well, because that it really depends to be successful or not in a job, not only the knowledge, but also how you proceed with, critical thinking, analysis, all of these things at the end of the day, that's what you do in each of the jobs that you will have.
Exactly.
So you in that time that you were in this master's, you already were working part-time, but you continue working in that company, or you moved to another company after you got the master?
For the entirety of my master's, I worked at BNY Mellon in 2 different positions at the time, but they helped contribute to my master's program, which was awesome. Highly recommend if anyone has that opportunity. Mm-hmm. A lot of companies I have heard of offer some sort of tuition reimbursement. And then after I finished my master's program in May of 2019, and then I switched to the consulting company that I'm at now last September. So September of 2019, a little over a year ago. That's
good. Take notes. I heard tuition reimbursement. I heard that highlighted. If somebody can pay for your studies, I will be working there. So that's a good commercial for the place that you were working before. And I'm so happy that you got tuition reimbursement. So John, tell us about, what you remember, how long ago you graduated? Also 2 years?
Same time as Chiara. Her and I actually.
You were classmates?
Yeah, we went from orientation together to graduation together.
Oh, that's very nice. So that's also peer support. So do you remember which course that you feel like were useful for what you're doing right now? A professor's course?
So so all of them were useful in their own way. Thankfully, intelligence is a very diverse skill set. And so I've been able to pull from almost all of my courses. But because I was doing the terrorism certificate as well, I was able to kind of always exist in this space between cybersecurity and asymmetrical warfare in like a geopolitical space. And so a lot of the terrorism courses I took as well helped enrich the digital forensics courses I would take, and vice versa.
Yeah, the terrorist course is probably very interesting.
A specific one I would give is law and high technology crime.
So you decided to combine this knowledge, and then you say, you know what, I want to take those in order to strengthen my skills.
Yeah, well, I did my undergrad in computer science, and so I've always had a computer background, but geopolitics has always been my passion, and so I was able to figure out a way to leverage the cybersecurity, the computer skills into geopolitics through cybersecurity.
Wow, my father is geopolitics. He wrote books and everything. So I heard that since I was walking. So you touch, I read many, many books of geopolitics because of him. Professor Wandt, I'm just curious about, John was mentioning about the courses he took and the activities he was doing. Do you, what kind of activities they do, extracurricular activities or experience learning you do in the program?
I think students have a variety to do a lot of experiential learning and extracurricular activities, as you say. The ones that come to mind are some of our capstone courses that are very hands-on, or our special courses that we put together, such as the course that I had with Chiara and John, where we built a specialized software package for the FBI to use to catch online predators. I think that students are able to pursue things that interest them and work with faculty members that are doing cutting edge research in the field of digital forensics and cybersecurity, and really create a set of experiences that they're able to learn things that traditionally cannot be learned just in a theory-based classroom. And I think that's really important for the growth of our graduate students. They come out of our program very often with a skill set that's very different from the person sitting next to them who graduated from the same program. We have students that are very interested in law and policy, and we have students, as you see, that are interested in asymmetrical warfare and intelligence. So I think one of the strengths of our program, without a doubt, are the practical abilities where students learn how to code, learn how to create operating systems and keep them secure, learn in some cases how to reverse engineer malware. They're able to put specific skill sets such as mathematical talents and ability to good use, perhaps in a cryptography course. But a good deal of our courses are taught in computer labs, hands-on, and they require a commitment of the student because none of this stuff comes easily. Most of our students spend a good deal of time learning how to do the procedures and techniques that they want to do.
So what are the requirements to enter to the program?
So first of all, it's important to realize that we have two programs. We have the Digital Forensics and Cybersecurity program, and we have something called the Bridge program, which I'll get to in a second. To get into the actual Digital Forensics and Cybersecurity program, of course, you need a bachelor's degree and need to have a fairly good GPA. But what we're really looking for are people with a heavy computer science and mathematical backgrounds. And it's the computer science that's really important to us. You know, we don't teach our graduate program from the ground up. We need people coming to us that understand the basics already. And then we're able to take them and specialize them in one of many different areas. So I would say, if you're a student thinking about coming to John Jay, you know, if you have a very strong computer science background, if you've been programming for several years, if you're fairly competent in mathematics, John Jay College and our Digital Forensics and Cybersecurity program might be perfect for you to hone your skills to become a very competent government operative, government analyst, or work in the private sector as a consultant or digital forensics analyst. For those who don't quite come to that point, we also have a bridge program that could help bring you up to date. It's a program where if you don't fully qualify for the digital forensics and cybersecurity program, you could come to learn some of the basic skills, take some undergraduate courses first, get yourself ready in order to go into the full digital forensics and cybersecurity program. However, we try to get as many students as we could to go into the regular digital forensics and cybersecurity program by taking in students with quite talented backgrounds.
No, very nice, very nice. Ciara, you remember when you signed the program, when you decided to take this program, what skills do you think you have in that time? You know, what advice you can tell somebody who is like thinking to just begin the program? What preparations you should be having? You know, besides they can go to the bridge program at the beginning, that would be great.
Yeah. So luckily I had the background. I didn't have to participate in the bridge program, but I've heard great things. So I think if you don't have a technology background and you're interested in pivoting your career, I think the bridge program would definitely be a great foundation for some of the classes to get your foot in the door and then start the master's program. Like one piece of advice that I would suggest just to anyone who's in the program right now or just starting out is just to network with your classmates and your professors. I know, as John had mentioned, we met before even day one at orientation. We took a lot of classes together. There's a great D4CS, which is the abbreviation for the program, Slack channel. People from different classes can participate. A lot of people would send articles of like recent news articles that they've read, breaking news. So it was just a great way to stay in tune with what's going on in the industry. Obviously, technology is forever changing, so it's hard to consume all of the information that's out there. And just a great way to stay in touch with your classmates, especially now that everyone's probably going to school remotely. You don't have that in-person contact. So highly recommend trying to stay in touch with everyone as much as possible. I learned a lot from my professors, but learned probably just as much from just speaking with my different classmates and creating small study groups. John can attest to that. We've had probably too many Google Hangout calls throughout the last couple of years. So it's definitely, classmates and professors are definitely a great resource to help you get through the program. We're all experiencing craziness together, so highly recommend.
So networking is highly important, not only with your professor, but also your colleagues, because really, if you go to a school, you need to start doing the networking. I think this is very important for all of us, because if you go and don't talk with anybody, you know what the idea is to have to create that peer network, that collection, that people who were in the same boat with you. And in the future, you probably will can work together, or at least you have a friend that you can call here and talk about things. How do you have right now, like now that you're alumni, you connect with others in different way with your former classmates?
Yeah, so there's actually two Slack channels. The masterminds behind both of them are on this call. So Professor Wandt has his own for his classes, and then John had started one for the program as well. So definitely still stay in touch with those, still connect with some people offline. I know when I was in the city, John and I had gotten coffee before the pandemic. So hopefully all of that will resume after we get back to somewhat normalcy. But yeah, still trying to stay in touch as much as possible, seeing people's updates on LinkedIn. And then I think it also paves the way to networking in the corporate world or wherever post-master's degree takes you, because it's definitely very important to network with colleagues as well as you move throughout your career. So I think it lays a good foundation. And
that's good.
Yeah.
So John, they ask me about how do you find your job? Could you please give us advices on how to start doing the search? How do you find your new job?
So a friend of mine actually recommended it to me and pushed me to do it. And I wasn't sure that I could get it. I was like, no, this is a dream job. It's a pipe dream. I'll apply, but I'm not going to get it. And one thing led to another, and I got a phone call back, went through the interview process, and it worked out. Anybody who wants to work for the New York City government, while we do have a hiring freeze right now, I highly recommend going to our job portal at nyc.gov and just looking through the careers. You know, go to a company that you like, that you'd love to work for, and just apply. The worst thing they can do is say no. And so I just applied, and it worked out.
That's good. So remember, the first time I hear the worst thing that happens is you don't get it. So why you have to try? You have to always try, be able to pursue your dreams. So Professor Adam, they're asking me what kind of careers or alumni are getting, what kind of areas they're going.
We have some really impressive alumni, and I think it's one of the strengths of our program, because not only do we have strong alumni, but they continue to be involved in the alumni community. We have a very large number of alumni who are involved in law enforcement. So let's start with that. We have people in digital forensic shops and as investigators at all levels of government, from the FBI to the DEA to ATF to NYPD, and also important local district attorney offices. I think that there's a strong need for our talents at district attorneys' offices and at state attorneys' offices, and they regularly employ our graduates, and they get wonderful careers. Then we have alumni that go into private shops. So private digital forensics and cybersecurity companies. Some of them do routine digital forensics on mobile devices or computers for law firm or legal cases, for example. Others, there's a digital forensics company. It's one of the best in New York. They regularly recruit from our student base, and they do some of the most high-tech digital forensics and cybersecurity things imaginable. And their clients include the US government and other entities like that. And then we have consultants. We have consultants that work for some of the top consulting and financial firms in the United States. They do consulting for corporations on what type of digital forensics and cybersecurity programs they should have. They do consulting on data security and data integrity and assurance. So we do have a pretty broad base, and I think we're really proud that our students are able to get out there and network, and networking is the key here. Network to make sure that they carve themselves a little niche in this world so that they're able to practice their trait in an environment that is good for them.
Nice. Yeah, now I'm getting excited. I want to be go back to my childhood and take that master as well. So Ciara, tell us about your last comments, your last words for our students who are right now looking at you, and they are already in the masters. What you will tell them what they have to do, because by May they will be in the market.
Just going back to what Professor Wandt was saying as well, just network. I think because we're virtual, tools like LinkedIn are super powerful. That's how I got my latest position. A recruiter had reached out on LinkedIn and I fielded the call, and it ended up turning into a great opportunity. So definitely looking for different opportunities through LinkedIn and other online searches, and definitely keeping in touch with your colleagues, because we're all entering the same field, but probably going 1.5 million different ways. I've already seen our graduating class. Everyone seems to be doing something different. So stay in touch and don't be afraid to put yourself out there, and yeah, just keep applying, and eventually something will stick. And it's the start of a very great career.
You see, here Ciara say, link it. So please go to our workshops that we're doing about how to create your LinkedIn profile. It's very important. Have a nice picture and also great information. We actually teaching that, and we have signed to those workshops. It's very important for you to present how you present yourself to the work. What about John? What will be your last your advice for our future master's graduates?
So I've been thinking about this a lot over the last few days in preparation for this, and I'd have to say the school is always going to have what you want to do somewhere. So look around and you'll eventually find someone in a department, whether it's the digital forensic department or another department in the school, who is going to help you facilitate what you want to do. So just pursue what you want to do, find the resources at the school. It's functionally a workshop that has all the tools at your disposal, and you get to build who you want to be. So just build it.
I love it. So this is a menu. You have all of these options. So go and pick up the ones that you like. Yeah. So that's amazing. Of that, we have all of these options in the program. In one program, we have so many possibilities. So Professor Wandt, we would like advice for prospective students, people who are thinking about taking this master.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Whether you're coming to graduate school, just do it. Whether you're coming to graduate school at John Jay or someplace else, now is a wonderful time to advance your education. The political climate and national climate, especially when it comes to digital forensics, cybersecurity, and computers, this is a great time to get into the field. This is a field that is growing exponentially, that is spewing off new fields constantly. If you're thinking about getting into technology, digital forensics, cybersecurity, internet-based investigations, go and do it. Take the risk and the steps to submit an application, see if you're right for our institution or another one, and ultimately take those steps to empower yourselves to better your life.
See, just do it. That's it. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ciara and John. We are very proud of you guys, and we're really grateful that you use your time to be with us today. And Professor Adam Wandt, with your passion and your love to your students, we are very happy. So thank you very much, and good night, everybody. And I will see you next week.
Thank you for having us.